The only people who think that we can continue to grow, that the economy can continue to grow when we have a finite planet, are either economists or politicians. Hi, my name is Francois Letoy. I'm the CEO of African Conservation Trust and the Rhino Ambassador for Project Rhino. The story began in about 2011 when the rhino poaching crisis was just literally going through the roof, where the rhino poaching numbers at a national level was going from single figures to double figures to triple figures, and then all of a sudden we were at 600, 700, 1,000 rhinos per year. We're in our 5th global extinction process, and rhino are just the bloody icon of the species extinction that's happening and has been happening for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, fueled largely by, let's call them militant groups, but organized criminal syndicates that operate in the same way as they operate with drug trafficking, with child trafficking, and with arms. Wildlife crime is the 4th largest criminal syndicate element on the planet at the moment. We are spending the large proportion of our funding goes into boots, it goes into combat, it goes into a war type scenario. The only way we're ever going to stop this conflict is if we have a community that surrounds a conservation area and there's equal benefit to the community as there is to the reserve. And for many of these individuals and for many of these communities, conservation is actually a swear word, because you've got all these rich people coming in and enjoying the fruits of the land when you've got impoverished communities living on the outside. And that's the only way we believe we're going to stop the combative element where you've got illegal wildlife crime that's happening, and illegal crime, the only way that that's ever going to stop is when the community takes control of it. But the next level is what we call our wildlife youth and leadership development, and the guys at Halls have been fabulous there. We've got Ralston the rhino that's been here on display for nearly a year and a bit now, maybe over a year. But Ralston's been all over the country. He's been to the South African Wildlife College, where we hosted the World Youth Wildlife Summit. He's been all over the place. He was at Mfolozi for a while. Hundreds of children have been able to go through and touch a life-size animal. The first World Youth Rhino Summit was held in KwaZulu-Natal at Mfolozi. It was facilitated by the Kingsley Holgate Foundation, who's also one of the founding members of Project Rhino, and it was a great success. The event was held on the very site of the first rhino capture, historic site, and we physically built a camp from the ground up on the dirt. It was Ian Player's final, it was the last time that he had a public address. It was very emotional, and he basically handed the baton over to the youth of tomorrow to say, we've done our part, it's up to you now to take it forward. But the Wildlife Youth and Leadership Development Program is that interface between the hardcore combat wildlife crime reserve and technical support component, and then the longer term intervention, which is to educate our youth. And if we don't educate our youth, we've actually got no future. That's the point. The youth is the future.